The next item I want to talk to you about is using links. If you're walking around a website, if you're exploring all of its different files and tabs, usually you just touch the screen and it jumps to a spot. Well, you can do that with your Smart Notebook pages as well. Rather than using the forward and backward arrows up in the top corner to advance backward and forward, you can link different ideas from the text to other areas of the presentation. I'm going to link, using links, to a page that I'm going to make interactive for us. So how I'm going to do that is I'm selecting the object, going up to Insert, and inserting a link. Again, I can also do this by using the drop-down list and going Link. What it will do now is it will tell me that I can link this to a web page, another page in this file, a file on the computer, or some other attachments. I'm going to link it to another page in the file. You'll see now it'll give me a whole bunch of pages I can choose from. Perhaps I'll link it to this one. We'll see where I'm going with this. Once I've selected the page that I've linked, by the way, you'll notice that some of them are named and some of them aren't. I suggest always naming your pages so that when you're doing links, it's easier to see where you're going. And I'm going to link by clicking on the object. As soon as I press Insert Link, then this page becomes an active link. And I click on it, and it brings me to my new page. So I'm going to make right now a small interactive page about a character comparison of a few of Shakespeare's more popular characters. Now the first thing that I look at that I don't like about this is the background. So I'm going to change the background from white to something else. There we go. And I also don't think that the text shows up very nicely. So I'm going to double click it, and I'm going to change the text style so that it's larger and also bold. Uh-oh, it doesn't fit. I can just drag that so that it does fit. Now I have a couple of characters here. I could search for some pictures of Macbeth and of Hamlet. Perhaps there's been some in art. I could draw a picture of each of them. There's my Macbeth. And there's my Hamlet. Hamlet was always sort of sitting down sulking, so that's why I have him drawn like that. And Macbeth, of course, being angry, he was always in red. So now I have a couple of characters, and I want to start talking about some of their qualities and some of their features, just as I did with the pictures. Well, I'm going to link to a couple of pages that I have built for them. So I'll select Hamlet's name, making sure to grab my select arrow. And I'm going to link this to a page. And I'm going to select my Hamlet page. Now, if I leave this as corner icon, watch what happens. Now there's a little white box. That's going to let me know that I have a link. So if I want to link to the page about Hamlet, I click on the little white box. And here we go. I've got some characteristics. Perhaps these are too small to see. Make them all a little bit larger. But now what if I wanted to take a look at, oh, I want to go back. I should make a link so that I can go back. I'm going to draw a shape. Just anything, perhaps a star. I'll take that shape, give it some color, and I'm going to link this back to my page where I was talking about my character comparison. So I'll go to Page in this file, and I'll go back to my character comparison, select the object, and insert the link. So we'll go back now. So we've got our link to Hamlet, we've got our link back. Underneath our link to Hamlet, we can drag and drop a lot of his qualities. Now let's look at Macbeth. Oh, hey, I don't have a link there. Let's add a link. So we'll go down to Link, selecting from the corner icon, Page in this file, we're going to link it to the Macbeth page. So we'll insert that link. Now when we click on the little white box, we go to a page with Macbeth. Hey, I'm missing all of the characteristics. Well, if I'm missing a bunch of characteristics, I'm going to need to get them from somewhere. I can always take these directly from my page here. So select all my characteristics. If I'm doing a comparison, I should look at the ones that they have similar and the differences. So I'll copy these. I'll go back to my Macbeth page, and using my right-click button, I'll paste all my characteristics. And I'll move these out of the way. So if I were talking about some of Macbeth's characteristics, well, he certainly had a love of the crown, although perhaps it wasn't a very great love. So we'll shrink that and put it down in the corner. What he did have a whole lot of, though, was greed. He wanted all of the power he could possibly have. That perhaps masked his whole character, so I could fill his complete box with that. And we all know what Hamlet's fate was. What was his fate? And this is just an animation. His fate was death. Strange. I think that Hamlet had the exact same fate as well. Now, how did I get an object underneath and an object over top? Well, there are actually two objects here. There's the word death, and there's a box that's now transparent because it's gone away. But if I go back and I check the object properties of the larger box, I go to its animation, and I take off the animation, we should see that box appear. And let's put it back to fade out. As I go back and forth and I come back to that page, that animation will always go back to its starting point. So every time I click on it, his fate will come back. Now, what I had to do to get this to work was I had to create the box as the top layer. So I went to Order, and I brought that all the way to the front. And then I took death, and I brought that word all the way to the back. So when I come back into this page, you'll notice that death appears underneath, not over top of the box. If I had that switched, it wouldn't make very much sense. That's one way that you can use animations to hide information from students and allow them to discover it on their own, and then make sure that you recapitulate with the correct answer altogether. Well, Hamlet and Shakespeare and Macbeth both had the exact same fate. So let's copy this fate over. Again, I'll click copy, and I'll go to the Hamlet page. I'll use my right click, and I'll select paste, and it looks like all I brought over was death. But if you pay careful attention, you'll notice that I also have that box in behind. Now when I go back to my lesson, and I talk about Hamlet, well, his fate is going to be underneath as well. And I go to Macbeth, and Macbeth's fate is there as well. Notice how I didn't have to change the animation. When you copy and paste animations, sounds, and links, they'll all link or animate the same way. So for instance, if I were to take this star, which only returned me to the menu, and copy it, when I click on the star, it brings me back to this page. I didn't have a link going back on the Macbeth site. If I were to paste in my star, this would now link back to the main comparison page. So copying and pasting items that have links, copy the link as well, not just the item. So it's important to make sure that you're planning for that when you're copying items from page to page. So there we have it. We've got a very quick comparison, a very quick interactive page that we can use as a graphical organizer to discuss some ideas about some of these characters. So getting back to it, the ultimate instruction for you in lesson plan development is to remember that creativity is key. Use your resources. Use the gallery. It'll be a fantastic place for you to start to find ideas of how you're going to bring this technology into your classroom. And then, when you feel comfortable playing around with animations and playing around with links, use them.